Okay, guys, welcome back to day 3, and we are going to talk about Java, what is Java class, and a few other things. Okay, so here is a diagram that I'm trying to show you. What is a class? Class is basically a template. Okay, a template which has no data in it. For example, I'm going to give you an example here, and then I'm going to launch a quiz program for you guys today. Okay, the expectation is that you should be able to give me some of your understanding of Java, either from today's class or maybe you have tried earlier. So the explanation that I'm trying to give you here with respect to Java class is that Java class is a template. Okay, what do I mean by that? I mean, for example, I'm trying to store, or I'm trying to work with a car. Car is a live object or a live element in our daily life. So I'm taking that car example. So I'm trying to create a Java class for car. Why? Because I want to give multiple data to it. I want to store multiple data regarding the car. I want to provide multiple features to the car in terms of a program. For example, this is my main Java template. This is my main Java template. In this Java template, I am not concerned about storing any data at this stage. All I'm trying to create is basically a model, and that model is going to have certain properties and certain attributes. Attributes like a car should be having a brand, a model. It should have an engine, so the engine size and the seating capacity. So for my program that I'm trying to build around Java for car, I need to firstly create a template. And in the template, I first be thinking that, okay, what are the main properties and attributes a car can have? So attributes meaning brand, model, engine size, and seating capacity. And properties would be, for example, a car can start, can accelerate, and can stop. This is the basic task a car should be able to perform. A car should be able to perform this basic task, right? A car can start, accelerate, and stop. These are the properties of a car, and attributes are brand, model, engine capacity, and seating capacity. Okay, just give me 1 minute. Okay, now this template I created, this is just a template. It has no data until and unless I create instances of that class. Instances will be these guys. Something that has the data in it. Okay? car is a template. I will give you a live example into it. And all the other things that you see at the bottom, these are instances. Okay? Now that you understand this, I'm giving you just a very basic understanding on Java. I'm in class. I will go to the main understanding of it after the user poll is done. I'm talking about the class because in every programming language that you can think of, they have classes. Classes are having a particular power that you have to use in order to make your program maintainable for longer run, readable for longer run. So, which is why I am going to launch a poll now, basically to understand where do you guys stand right now with respect to class example. Okay, I'm still seeing someone is joining here. So Priya's joined. All right, fine. So I'm going to launch a quiz on Java class now, and you will see a pop-up in your screen, and you have to basically take 5 minutes to fill those answers. These are multiple choice questions. Somewhere you have multiple answers, somewhere you have one answer, and just let me know. I want to really see where do you guys stand, how much experience you have in terms of class. The concept is basically Java class. Okay, Java class is the building blocks of test automation for any programming language that you can think of. Okay, some people try to start learning test automation with Python because it seems Python is easier at the initial stage. But when you try to actually implement complex architecture with Python, it is no easier than Java. So a lot of people who are just getting started in programming and they want to come into automation, they do this mistake. That is not what you should be doing. You should be taking a language, you would be using a language where you have maximum number of job opportunities or project opportunities. And that is still in terms of Java and Selenium. If you go in the market right now, you will find out of 10, you will find 7 requirement for Java and Selenium, maybe 1 for C#, 1 for JavaScript, 1 for Python. That's the ratio generally, you will see it. Anyways, let me launch the poll for you right now, okay? The poll starts now. I've sent a poll. You should all get this and read the questions, take some time and start filling it out. Can you please confirm you can see the poll in your screen?
Actually, multiple answers also might be correct, right?
Yeah, multiple answers are also correct. Yeah, that's fine.
Multiple options also might be the correct.
Yeah, absolutely. Once you're done with the poll, please, all of you, please send me a chat that you are done, because I will then end the poll. Okay? There are 7 questions here. Okay, I see a new participant just joined, Rema. I have just launched a poll for everyone. I hope you are able to see that poll. If you are able to see the poll, please try to complete that. I see another person just joined. So guys, I'm running a poll now. This poll is basically targeting to understand where do you stand with Java class concept. What do you know about Java class? I'm trying to understand that, and that's why the poll is. Ramya, are you able to see the poll? Just give me a like or a thumbs up.
Actually, I don't know. Just a pop-up window came and I don't know how it went. I can't see it now.
Did you close it? Did you close the window? If you close the window, then you will not be able to see it. Everybody else, please let me know once you're done so that I can end the poll. Ramya, do you see the poll now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, very
Sorry,
good.
it was on mute.
Please, no, that's fine. Please carry on. Okay. I'm seeing some people are saying they are done. I have just 4 done so far. 15 to go. 14 to go. 13 to go. 12. 11. Ten. Just send me a done in the chat so that I can just count that and end the poll accordingly. Okay. So 10, 9, seven to go. I'm not getting any more responses, just trying to understand if every one of you have participated in this. If it is, then yeah, Ramya says done. Okay, good. 5 to go. Okay, I think we have collected most of the result. I see 94% participation done on this. I'm going to end the poll now. Okay. All right. Now, let's see. Let me say share result. Okay. Every one of you guys are able to see the result. Is that right? Just give me a cheers. Okay, good. Let's discuss on this, okay? Let's quickly discuss on this first, and then we will go to the discussion about test in Java classes. First question is, what is class? Class is a template to create objects. And the third answer is class are building blocks. Those two are the right answer. You cannot store data in a class. You cannot. Okay, moving on, and I'll show you why I'm saying this. How to access methods residing in class? Okay, I'm getting 65% answer in the first one. By creating a class instance and calling method with dot operator. Someone said, call the class directly using class name and dot operator. And third one is somebody said, create a class constructor and call method from it. No, absolutely not. First two are right. Okay. Third, what is inheritance in Java? Inheritance will allow to share properties between two classes. I should have said two classes. That is incorrect. Inheritance will allow share properties from superclass. That is correct. Inheritance can allow share properties between sister classes. No, that is incorrect. Okay. Next one. What are the 4 pillars of OOPS concept? OOPS meaning object-oriented programming.
What is, sir, what is, Savik, what is the sister classes actually?
There is nothing like that.
Yeah, that's
Nothing like that, sister classes. Or you can basically say, if two classes are pointing to the same parent, then you can say those two classes are sibling classes, but you cannot share data between sibling classes using inheritance. Okay, what are 4 pillars of OOPS concept? Okay, the answers are inheritance, encapsulation, abstraction, and polymorphism. With these 4 concepts, you can basically master object-oriented programming. In programming world, objects are the main thing. If you don't understand objects, then you are not able to move to the next level. You can definitely do some, you can definitely scratch the surface by writing some basic scenarios here and there. But without the object-oriented concepts, you cannot build a framework, a test framework, or a program or a project that can be sustainable for a longer run. You cannot do that. Your project will terribly fail. Okay. Those are the 4 pillars of OOPS concept. Okay. What is polymorphism? Having multiple classes with same name? No, it is not. Having multiple constructors with same name and signature? It can be, yes. Having multiple methods with same name and signature? Yes, it can be. So these two are the right answers. There is something called as constructor overloading or constructor polymorphism, which is the second answer, and the fourth answer is right. Okay. To implement test automation, we would require to use OOPS concept. True or false? It is true. Without OOPS concept, you cannot proceed at all. If your answer is true, then why? Okay, there are a few things I have mentioned here. Maintainability, setting environment configuration, handling multiple data extraction, to support do not repeat yourself principle, and framework can be created without OOPS principle. This last point is also to some extent true, but that framework will not be an industry level framework. You need to use all the OOPS concept in order to create a framework that can work for us for a longer run. Okay, so that's the bootcamp result I wanted to show. Generally, in my main class, also I'm planning to introduce this kind of questions so that you guys can have some idea that what is really happening. Okay.
So, Savik, what is the last answer? If answer is true, then why? What is the last answer?
All first four are the right answers.
Okay.
Maintainability, setting environment configuration, handling multiple data extraction, to support dry principle. Do not repeat yourself. And framework can be created without OOPS principle. That is also to some extent right, but it is not going to work out for you for a longer run. I just saw somebody just joined a minute back. So I think Bilal just joined a minute back. We have run through poll questions. I hope you can see the result up there that we ran. And I was just discussing about those results. And from this result, I can definitely gauge that a lot of you guys need to understand what is Java class in detail. And that's where I go and I will start my discussion today around Java class. Okay, so I'll stop the sharing of the polls. And let's move on to the Java class discussion. As I was saying, class is a template and you create objects out of those templates. Okay, so let me just clear my drawing first, and we will go to the project. So we'll open the project. I'm going to create a new project here for day 3, new Java project, day 3. All right, finish. Don't create. I'm going to close all the previous guys. All right. Now, I'm going to the plan. Let me talk about the plan. The plan is this. I'm going to create 2 classes. 2 classes. Number 1 class is the car class. Why I'm talking about the car class? Because car class is the class which will let me actually work with the car instance. The instance will actually have the data. Okay. And I will also create another class which will be the car controller class. From this car controller class, I will be able to work with multiple instances of car. So car controller is the class where I have the main method. Okay, the main method is in the car controller class, and from this main method obviously my project will be triggered, and then in that project I will create multiple instances of the car. Okay, so let's just try and understand this a little better. I'm going to create a new package. I just say new package, name it as car test. And here I'm going to create 2 different classes. Number 1 is obviously new class. And I'll name this class as what? Car. And again, I'll create another class. And this class, I'll make this as controller. Or maybe test car. Or car controller. Let's say that. Controller. Okay. And this method, this class will have the main method, because from here I will trigger my main program. Okay, good stuff. So let's try to understand this. Car is a class. Okay. In this car class, we have 2 different class members. Class members are the entities who resides in a class. So there are multiple different entities can stay in a class. For example, variables, or we call it as attributes, methods, or we call it as properties, and finally constructors, and we call it constructors. Okay, what is constructor is going to take maybe a couple of hours for me to discuss, because that's a very in-depth understanding that you have to go through. I cannot really cover it in the bootcamp. However, I'll try to cover up the first two things, the attributes and the properties. So what is attributes? I am going to give an attribute to this car, and that is public string brand name. Okay. Public string model. Double, public double. Double is another data type to support fractional values. So I'll say double engine size. And finally, public int seats. These many seats I have in the car. Correct? These are my car attributes. As you can see, at this stage, I'm not really bothering to provide any data inside any of these attributes. I'm not bothered at all. Okay? Let's try to create properties. What is the property of a car? A car can start, stop, and accelerate. Can we do something like this? Can we write a method? So properties are methods. So we'll go public void start car. And as a part of this method start car, I will do nothing more than just printing out these variable values. So all I will do is sysout starting, just something like this, starting, and an arrow, and this plus, and I'm just going to say brand name, and something like this, and model, and then engine, size, and finally you're saying seats. Okay, so to make this printout a little bit look good, I can just name those guys here. So brand and model is fine. Maybe before the engine, I'll say engine, so that the engine size information can be printed here, and it will make sense. And we, sorry, not here. Seats, something like this, right? So when this will be printed out.
Sorry,
Mhm.
one question.
Yeah.
Why there is sometimes 2 dash and before engine there are 3 dash?
These are just the printouts. When I run this method in the console, you will see this dashes are getting printed. There is no significance to 2 dots or 3 dots. I can give 10 dots here. Nothing to do with,
Thank you.
Nothing to do with Java programming. It is how you are just representing your console log. You're logging this information, you're printing this information as a part of your program. So when it prints it exactly in this fashion. Okay? That's the start car, and then I'll do exactly a copy of the same. I'll name this guy as accelerate car. And I'll go and put another one here, stop card. Basically, as you can understand, all the three properties, because it's a demo, information I'm trying to give you. Start card or accelerate card or stop card, they're not really different. They're all doing the same thing, but they are having three different names. That's the only difference in this example. This is just an example of what is a card and what is an object. That's what I'm coming to, okay? So what I just created here is a card template. Now look at it and tell me, do you see any data in it? Am I saying that it is a Mercedes brand or model number something or engine size something? I'm not. I'm creating a simple template like you would probably do when you write a Word document. Probably have done this earlier as well. You create a Word document, you write some lines here, okay? And then over here and at the bottom, or maybe here when there's an address. So these two things are templates. These two things are something that you can provide n number into your Word template. And finally, when you save the template, basically what you have done is you have created 20 or 30 different letters, and each and every letter is having different names, correct? So this part over here is a variable, and also the name is also a variable, correct? The address and the name is a variable. When you are running it, this variable will actually have the actual data that will be fed into the Word document, and you can create 10 different documents out of it. It's a very simple feature in Word document. Avinash, you have a question? Please go on.
Hi. So my question is, so this is basically the template. So these are the properties, and do we need to that system out we need here to show the data? I think these are also comes under template.
Whatever you see here within this class right now, they're all as a part of template. The properties over here are nothing but the methods. In this example, I'm just saying that this method is doing nothing more than printing out some information. And these information are basically the attribute information. That's all. But it is all a template.
And my second question is that why we mentioned the void here, in the min?
Because this method is not returning back any information.
Okay.
So in the method, when you're saying void, it means it's a return type. If this method is supposed to return something, for example, if I want to return the, say, seat number from this method, okay? So I would have said int, and then I would have said return seats, like so, which means that when this method will be called, after printing this line, it will also return the value to the caller, whoever calls it. Okay? So here in this situation, I don't really need to do anything in terms of returning. I can very well just survive with void.
So you mean that, this is a like signature, sir. Whenever we mention the public, so we cannot mention public start car method, right? We have to mention the
exactly. We have to mention a return type.
The return type.
A method always will have a return type. Either it is void or a particular data type.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem. Rema, do you have a question?
Yeah, actually my question is, I could see that while defining the variables, public is mentioned at the start of it. So if we won't give that public,
then it will still work. It will have, this public is nothing but a access specifier. Okay, if you don't give public, it will have a default access. So there is this concept under Java, is called access specifier. Okay, as a part of access specifier, there are 4 different type of access that can be provided. Public, private, default, and what is that? Protected. Yeah. There are 4 different type of access specifier you can provide to the to anything in Java. I am not talking about access specifier right now, Ramya. So when if you're willing to discuss with me, to work with me for a longer time, that's where I cover everything in detail. Here in this bootcamp, I cannot cover so many things in a short period of time. Okay.
Okay.
So just stay focused in the discussion of the car class. In the car class, I have created a simple template, as you can see here, with attributes and properties. All right, no data whatsoever. Now let's go to the controller class. Good. In this controller class, I'm going to create an instance of the car class. Let's create an instance of the car class. The syntax will be car, because you're creating the instance of the car class of car, the class name car. You can give a name to that instance. So I'll say Mercedes equals to new car. That's an instance of car class I created. Again, let's see. I'll create an Audi and I'll create a Mazda. Okay. I created 3 different instances of the car. Now you have to understand that what exactly is happening when you're creating an instance of the class car. To understand this, you have to understand that in Java virtual machine, there are 2 different types of memories. One is a stack memory, and another one is a heap memory. As soon as this line number 7, line number 9, line number 11 gets executed, as soon as that happens, in this heap memory, Java will allocate 3 different instances of these 3 different car instance. Okay? Each and every of this instance will have their name, obviously, because you have already specified those names. And every instance will have their own location. So maybe the location number is 0011, 1123, and 9044. I'm just giving you numbers randomly. These are the position, and you have to understand that there is going to be no control between, or there is going to be no data sharing between these 2 entities, or these 2 entities. No data sharing at all. They are completely working under isolation. No connection at all. Okay? They have as if they have their own small world. Correct? Now let me show you something. I'll clear my drawing. I'll put a breakpoint in line number, say, 13. Correct? Let's run this program right now, however it is. Okay? I'm going to run this program right now. Debug as Java application. Simple. Running meaning, when I say running, I want to say debug. I'm going to say debug as Java application. When I do that, obviously, it will stop in line number 30, as I showed you earlier. Now, if I hover my mouse on each and every object, you will see something. Let's see what you see. I'm hovering my mouse. Look at it. What do you see? You see a hash code. The hash code says that this is a car object, which is under the car test package. So car test.car, and then there is a hash code attached to it. So in the heap memory, Java is trying to identify this object with this hash code, and it is attached to it. Every one of them are different, as you can see. Every one of them are different. Okay? At this stage, if you look into it closely, you will see that all the template attributes are having default values. Do you see that? Brand name is null, engine size is 2.0.0, model is null, state is 0. Everything is in default state. Because right now at this stage, I have not entered any information under the respective objects. Nothing. Let me show you how to do that. How to enter the information inside these objects. So I'll stop my debugging. I'll go to line number 8. I'll say merc dot brand name. You see, I used a dot operator to access the variable or the attribute. And I'm saying the brand name is Mercedes. Let's do this debugging one more time. Now, what do I see? Mercedes object is having the brand name value as Mercedes. Engine size is still 0, model is null, seat is 0. They are not changed because I have not provided any information to it. Correct? But for Audi, it is still the same. Because for that Audi object, you didn't really provide anything. So it's still the same. Right? Now, if I stop it, and if I fill them all, so merc dot engines model is equals to E350, merc dot seats, I don't know, maybe 5, and engine size is dot engine size. Engine size is maybe 2.2 liter. Okay. So similarly, I can just fill this up for all others, right? I just change the names. Quickly. And this is Audi. This is Audi A3. It's a 4-seater maybe, and I'm giving 1.5 liter. And this is Mazda. This is Mazda 6. 5-seater 2.2. Okay, I just set all my data inside the car class. Instance, not car class. Some of you guys have mentioned it in the poll that you were you can set the data inside the car class. No, you cannot. That's a template. It has nothing to do with data at all. So template is what? It's a plan that, hey, I want to work with cars. To work with cars, I need these things. So that's a template now. And then you create an object so that you can give life to that template. Now there's a life to the template because it has some data to work with. Now it comes to the section where I have to perform the operation. How do I do that? I say merc dot start car, merc dot accelerate, and merc dot stop. Correct? If I run my program now, not debug, I just run it now. Obviously, it means that it has printed out all my details for Mercedes. I didn't call the methods, these methods, for Audi object or Mazda object, which is why it didn't print out anything regarding Mazda or Audi, but it just printed it out for Mercedes. Can you guys give me an understanding whether you have understood this part or not? this is the foundation of foundation. Like, without this, you cannot take a step ahead to an advanced level, framework implementation. Tell me, Avinash.
Yeah. So when you sys out mention, so it will always refer to the first instances, right? Only one. When you call the sys out println.
Under this one. This is how.
Okay. But it is only showing the one Mercedes. Why not that Mazda and Audi?
Because I just said that, right, a minute back. I'm not calling the methods for Mazda and Audi. Do you see that? I'm just calling it for Mercedes only. Did I call it for Audi and Mazda? I didn't.
Okay.
If I say Audi dot start car, then I get it for Audi. Look.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I just confused with the sys out in the below println and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem. Others, please give me a shout if you're understanding this or if you're not understanding this. What is the confusion do you have? Adam, any questions? Akin, any questions? Are you there, guys?
No questions for now.
Okay. Adam, do you have a question?
No questions from my end.
Pretty good. Okay. Others, Justin, Joseph, Ramon.
Yeah, fine. We're understanding the things.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
You're good? Okay. Have you guys before tried to understand this this concept earlier, like before coming to the bootcamp? Have you ever tried to understand this concept of class before? And if you have done that, then what kind of understanding was there and what is the understanding now? Anybody wants to share their experience?
Yeah. So shall I?
Yeah,
Because
go on.
like I read lot of time. I did lot of code also, but sometime when they when the discussion happen instances, these are the terminologies when I always confuse the objects kind of this. Now when you explain what is instances, what is attribute with that example, then now I can easily identify. Now that's how does you easily just give an example. So always we use the very technology like IT related terminology, Java terminology I could say.
Exactly.
So that makes me sometimes confusion. But if maybe I forgot and long back, I cannot. But when I started again directly, I started with instances all, then I confused. So by your example, it makes me now I can relate it all things. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you, Avinash. Yeah, Gilspe, you have something to say?
Yes, when I tested, I found system error. The message was instance is not referred to a reference object or something like that. That it happened when you insert a value and the application didn't find the related object, the related database.
There is no database here. You must be doing something wrong. Absolutely wrong. Can you show me your screen?
No. I'm not speaking about the Java. You told me about my previous experiences.
Okay. I understand. So now after I explained, is it making sense to you?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much. All right, good stuff. So we have tackled the first part of it. Okay, this is very important for you to understand this. All right. So if you look into my diagram here, that is exactly what I'm trying to say. It is a class template, and then you create multiple instances out of it. Okay. As discussed earlier, class is a template, and then you create multiple copies of that from that template, which is called instance or objects in Java. Okay, and you use this keyword called new keyword, all right, to create the instance. Very good. How to access class members? I just did that for you a minute back. I use this dot operator in order to access the class member, whether it is a property or a method and a variable or an attribute. I can access them with the dot operator. Okay, let's move on. What are methods and what are its usage? A very, very important concept that you have to understand. Why do I even bother to have a method? For example, the answer to it lies in my program. Think about it. You're creating, so any car in this world, it stops, it starts, it accelerates. Any car in this world will do that. So think about it. Do you want to write separate code for starting a car for separate instance? No, it is of no use. You can create one method under the car object, like these ones, and then this method can be like called 100 times. This is the concept of do not repeat yourself. Whatever you are planning to do, for example, you're planning to perform, say, so okay, yesterday I showed you this example, if you remember that, this var args problem. My motive was basically to create a method that can provide me the addition result of multiple values, right? How can I achieve that? I can achieve that with this particular method. Now, this method is so much robust and so much flexible that I can keep on adding n number of values here, and it will still give me a result back, an addition result back still. So method is there basically to make sure that you create whatever task you're trying to perform, you perform it once, you wrap it inside a method like this. A method will always have a structure like this, right? Public static void main, okay? And public static void, and then this is a method name. And then you are giving a method body. So this method body is basically the section where you're actually performing the operation. And then if you keep on calling this method 10 times, you're basically referring back to the same code over and over and over and over again. You're not repeating yourself. You're not rewriting your code 10 times. You're just calling it back 10 times, right? This is called method, and probably have understood why do you use it, okay? There is something called as a concept called polymorphism, which is very much attached to methods, and I cannot discuss this right now because it is not going to permit the timings, okay? Anyways, that is that. Let me move on to the next part of it. Understanding scope. What is Selenium? All right. Okay. What is a scope? Okay. So let me talk about scope. If I expand this, there are two different scope in your Java class that you have to understand. What is scope? Scope meaning what is your access, or what elements can you access within the class? So think about it. This is my car class, all right? This is my car class. And I have defined my attributes at the very top of the car class, correct? This section, whatever you define over here, is called as global scope. Why? Because these attributes can be accessed by any method. So all the methods or all the properties will have access to the model variable, the brand, seating capacity, and everything else. whatever you define over here can be accessed by all other attributes or properties. However, if you define something local to your method like this, int seat equals to 1, this variable, it's a variable which I'm defining as a part of this particular method. And this method is having this variable in the local scope, meaning this variable value can be only accessed under this much of space, or the scope of this method is from here to here, this flower braces, right? That's the scope of this method. So within this method scope only, you can ideally create the or access the local variable. That is called a scope. All right. Let's move on to the next part. Next part talks about Selenium. Okay. Selenium is our main topic. We are trying to learn how to automate a web application or any kind of application, how to automatically test a web application. So Selenium is basically a web browser automation tool, which is a cross-browser tool. Okay. This tool can let you test your test cases or execute your test cases in multiple different browsers, multiple different operating systems. Correct? So the first thing that we will be doing over here is to install Selenium in your system. Installing Selenium WebDriver in your system is very simple. You go to this location called selenium.dev. That's the website. You go there and you click on downloads. Okay. When you do that, you will come to this particular section called Selenium Server Grid. And in this section, you click on this latest stable version. When you click on this, it will download a jar file in your system. Yesterday, I've given you an understanding about a jar file. What is jar file? Jar files are Java archive file, if you remember, right? I told you that in a jar file, we can have multiple packages. Okay. And multiple packages can have multiple .class files. Okay. And multiple packages together can become a jar file. Correct? So think about it. What Selenium guys are doing is very simple. They are creating a jar file for us. The jar file has all these classes, class files, which are compiled class files. So when you basically get these class files compiled together under packages and under a jar, and then you add this jar to your project. For example, today we have opened a project called as Day 3. Day 3 is the project that we created today, right? As soon as I integrate the jar file into the Day 3 project, as soon as I do that, whatever the capabilities you see in this class files now will be accessible by Day 3 project. This integration part we have to understand in order to install Selenium for a particular project. As simple as that. How do you do this? Very simple. You have downloaded the jar file. Once you're done with that, go to your project like so. Day 3 is the project that we are working on. Let me close everything else. And over here, I'm going to say right click on this. I'm going to say properties. And I'm going to say Java build path. All right. As a part of Java build path, I'm going to say under libraries. You see, there are multiple tabs here. Under libraries, you have to select class path. Okay. And then say add external jars. And when you do that, you go and you just say you're trying to install Selenium Server 4. I have Selenium Server 4 here. Right now, the latest version is 4.2.2. That's no problem at all. We can still work. And I'll say apply and close. As soon as I did that, under the reference libraries section, you can see Selenium server got added, a jar file. If you open this up, you will see the same structure, multiple packages and multiple classes under that, dot class files. I mean, compiled Java files, dot class files, correct? Let's try to create a basic test case with this. Okay, I'm going to create a package here. New package, cell test. Done. I'm going to say a new class here, test Selenium with the main method. Good. Whatever we have learned in today's class in terms of class and object, you see that we need to use it in order to work with the Selenium jar file. We have to use it. So as soon as this library is added to this project, now I have access to a class called as Chrome Driver. Chrome Driver is a class which is not a part of my project at all. I didn't write it, but still I am able to use this class. So Chrome Driver equals to new Chrome Driver. So I'm creating an object of Chrome Driver class. That's the first thing I'm doing. When I'm doing that, you see this is a red line here. Why? The red line is saying import Chrome Driver. So this Chrome Driver class is there as a part of this reference library. Yes, it is. However, this Chrome Driver is not able to access that class file properly within this class because you have not imported it. So you can see import Chrome Driver. As soon as you click on import Chrome Driver, this line got added. What does it say? It says import org openqa selenium.chrome.chrome driver. So what are these guys? What are these guys? And what is this one here? Whatever you see here in the lowercase, they are all package names. Package and sub-package, right? So org, under org you have openqa, under openqa you have Selenium, under Selenium you have Chrome. Do you want to see it? It's simple. Open the jar file. Look for the package name called org. So we'll go down. Okay. The name is org.openqa. So let's see the name here. See openqa. See this org.openqa.selenium, and then here selenium.chrome. You see that? If you expand this, you have Chrome Driver class right there. So this guy over here, if you want to work with it, you need to import this class as a part of your working class. This is my class where I'm going to work with it, right? So I have to import this guy over here. Only then I can work, right? That's what I did. As soon as I say import, this line got added. Correct? Good stuff. Now I'm going to write one single line here. Driver.findElement. Driver.findElement by sorry, my bad. I'll just do a driver.get first. Driver.get, and over here I'm going to just say that I want to go to a particular location. What location is this? My website, wisdomqa.com, for example. Okay, I'm done with that. What do? I'm going to run this program. It's a main method, so I can very easily run it as a Java application. Minara, do you have a question? Minara, do you have a question? You have just switched on the mic. No? Okay, good. So I'm going to just run this program now, right? Run as Java application. As soon as I do that, I'll get an error. I'm getting a red error with the name called exception. This is a runtime error. If you remember, first day somebody asked me this question. What kind of errors do we get? Compile time and runtime. So there was no compile time error over here, but as soon as I executed the program, it gives me a runtime error, an exception, and it stops my program. What does it say? It says very simple in English, the path to the driver executable must be set by webdriver.chrome.driver system property. Okay. So basically it is telling you that in order to launch a Chrome browser, you need something called as Chrome driver, okay, .exe. You need that, okay? So in ideal case, you will write this line something like this. You will download this Chrome driver .exe from where? From the Selenium dev again. So you go to downloads, and if you go scroll down again to the bottom, here you have browsers, you open this up, and you have Chrome, right? You open the Chrome documentation. And just right here, you will see this Chrome driver latest release, right? So 103. So you have to also make sure that your Chrome browser is having 103 version. Only then it will work out. Otherwise, it will not work out. Okay. So once you download the exe file, then you will do something like this: system.set property. Sorry, set property. Okay. And here you will do. You will add a property name called webdriver.chrome.driver. And then here, you will basically pass on the path where your exe file is located. So C drive, under that, some folder, under that exe file, right? That is what generally you will do it. However, I'm not doing this. I'm going to show you another example. Another better way of doing it, because there is a problem you will always keep on facing if you are using this approach. The problem that you will face is that your Chrome browser in your local system, okay, will keep on updating on its own, right? And you have to keep on downloading the Chrome driver exe file to support that, which is not needed anymore, because there's a new class right now available, and the class is called as WebDriver Manager. Okay, how do I do that? Very simple. You go to the location here and just type in WebDriver Manager. Okay, when you do that, the first link will come from this GitHub. Open this up, Bonnie Garcia. This guy has created this tool, this guy, Bonnie Garcia. This tool will solve all such problems. Simply go here. You see WebDriver Manager 5.2.0 latest, click on this. And then download this fat.jar file, right? I have also downloaded that, okay? Once you download that, you have to add this jar file to your project. So let me do it. I'll go to day 3, properties. Under class path, I say add external jars. And here I'm going to say the location of my WebDriver manager, this guy, fat jar. Okay. So I have added the fat jar and I will say apply and close. Done. Now I'm going to say WebDriver manager dot Chrome driver dot setup, and that's it. You don't have to bother anything about setting up the property file or exe file and then updating it. Everything is taken care of automatically. If your browser is upgraded, this tool will automatically download the latest exe file and set it up. You see, as soon as I added this WebDriver manager, you see another import statement got added, which is coming from io.github Bonnie Garcia WDM WebDriver manager. You see, under reference library, you have 2 of them now, correct? Okay.
Sorry, Savik.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry, I just missed there. Did you import the WebDriver library from a website? Did you have to download it, or is it?
Yeah. You have to download this WebDriver manager from this website. You have to just search in the Google, just say WebDriver manager. When you do that, the first link will be Bonnie Garcia. You click on this. And then you go under the section called as releases. Under this WebDriver Manager 5.2.0, you open this up. And here you have this guy, fat jar, to download this one. Okay.
Sure. And in order to install that on Selenium, is there any steps, or does it just?
You're not installing this on Selenium. You're installing this in your project. This is your project, so you will do the exact same thing. Right click on this, properties, Java build path, class path, and then you just put this jar file here. That's it. Exactly like I did the Selenium server, you will do it for the fat jar.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Now, once we have this here, now I run this now, run as Java application, and you will see that the browser opens up. Did I run it properly? Java application. Okay. Why do I have this problem now? Because I should be putting it here. Because you see, I first have to do the setup, and then I have to instantiate the driver object. Otherwise, it will not work, right? Now, if I run this now, this will work. Correct? So Chrome driver opens up and it takes me to the respective website. Okay. So this is where I end my class today. I have another poll for you today, again, just to understand how things are going fine with you. Just a feedback poll. Tomorrow, I will discuss about the Selenium architecture, and we will write some test case around it, okay? So I will quickly, thank you, Minara. Thank you so much. I will quickly run this poll. Just give me one quick second. Okay. So I'm just launching it now. Okay, so you should be seeing it in your screen. Perfect. The poll is finished. I have shared the result with you, and you can see that there are some people who wants to, revisit the video. So I will upload that. Please revisit. I understand that it is not something that you can learn it in one single thing, right? It needs practice, which is why I'm here. I can help you to build this concept from inside out, because these concepts is going to stay with you forever in your life. With this programming concept that if you can master, you can even switch into another programming language, and that wouldn't really take a long time for you to upskill, So perfect, guys. Thank you so much for joining the class. Tomorrow, same time, we meet again, and then we can continue from there on, okay? Bye, guys.
Thank you. Have
Thank
a
you very
nice
much.
evening. Bye.
Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.